Hello, I'm Cherie Valentine. I'm here with another episode of Tappy Break. I think I've finally found my groove in time and space for this season because I've sort of changed forms a little bit with offering it, and I wasn't sure where it was going to land, but I love this option, and I love that Elaine actually offered to come in and join me every week so that you had could see another experience of it and have a more specific experience versus it being as general as it used to be. So, Elaine, I am forever grateful for you for that offer. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here. It's a Monday, and we're going to let more shifting happen and clear out more stuff.
Yes. How'd your holy shift show go?
Well, I did a declutter day blab. That's what we did at 1 o'clock today.
Oh, okay.
And my big success of the weekend was I cleared out a big room of stuff and had a yard sale and sent off 8 boxes of stuff that got picked up on a truck this morning. So that was good.
So we are celebrating.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you. Yeah. So you've been working on this declutter, and you actually, I think a couple weeks ago, did a tappy break with me that around this, and look at all the stuff that's happening. Yay.
And it's going to be a long process. This thinning out.
And that's
okay. Purge some more and go deeper. Yep.
Well, that's what we do with tapping, right? We start out and each time it takes us a little further and deeper and unpeels more of the layer. And it's the same with what you're doing. Big, huge projects don't get done like that. It's the consistent, it's the step by step, the things that you do. And so good for you, because you keep showing up and you keep clearing it, and pretty soon you'll have that result that you want, that clear room. So today I was inspired to tap on, I think oftentimes I hear people all the time say I can't. And I hear it in my head all the time. Like, it surprises me how many times I say that. And I actually told a story around that, I think twice in 2 different other blabs last week. So I'm not going to do it again here. But I caught myself. And short story is, I heard in my head a person back in high school who told me I could. And every time I could. So it was so freeing for me to remember that and to remind myself that I need to keep reminding myself that, yes, I can, when that little I can't voice comes in. But I know we all have it. And it's not always easy to be in our conscious mind to always catch that or be aware of it. So that's where tapping really helps. Because if we can clear out some of the stuff underneath it that might be more comfortable with that I can't voice, it makes more room to hear the I can. It makes it easier because you're more aligned. If we can clear out what's unconsciously not believing that you can do something, then you can be more aligned with the conscious mind that wants to believe it or that's saying it can. So it lines up really nicely. So as always, we're going to take a nice big breath and let it out. And that is a release, not a sigh. We can call it whatever we want. I want you just to let go of anything before and anything that's coming after, and give yourself these next 10, 15 minutes just for you. Okay. This is a break for you. It's a gift.
Quick little question.
Yes.
We did, opening to the I can thing as opposed to I can't. You titled this one, I don't know what to do.
We did, didn't we? Yep.
So is that kind of what we're going to focus on today? I don't know what to do.
Reset. Actually, I'm so sorry. I was reading it too, and I'm like, how come that doesn't say what I'm saying?
Now, you can do whatever you want, and you can even edit the title, I'm pretty sure, my dear.
Well, let's do this, okay?
Whatever you're led to do is fine with me. I'm a very F-word flexible lady.
So let's do this, because there's a bunch of you who are in the stream. Do me a favor, and if you want me to tap on the I can, say 1, and if you want me to tap on the actual topic that you subscribed to, which is I don't know what to do, say 2, and I'm going to go with whatever you would like. One of each. Great. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, sorry. Lemon
Well, if
grass
I
spa. Okay, we need a third vote. We need a tiebreaker, please. Okay, oh, two. Okay, so I got two twos and a one. Oh, thank you, David. Only one vote counts. Okay. Well, you know what, Dave? I'll tell you what. We'll do the other one after. And I can actually send you to the video where we did do that one, right? Because that's the one we're saying. I can. We tapped on that already. Of course, we could
that's what
tap
we
on that
did.
every single day.
Yeah.
All
When I
right.
was here with you.
Reset, everyone. Sorry. So we're going to tap away on the I don't know what to do. And the reason that I was inspired by this one is because I hear myself say that all the time, and then I laugh because I actually do know what to do, and I have to remind myself that. And mostly I hear this every day from my clients. They're always telling me I don't know what to do or I don't know, and I'm always saying, but yes, you do. You really do. And that's where the inner wisdom and the inner guidance comes from. And it's okay. Thank you, Thumman, for that comment. Oh, it's not ironic. It's actually perfect, Dave, isn't it? Dave, I'm going to bring that in. I just think that's pretty good. All right. Maybe not. Question? It's not working. All right. Anyway, so Dave Moore says that's ironic that the title was originally titled "I Don't Know What to Do." Clearly, I don't know what to do today, but we're gonna go back and stick with the title. Okay, the topic. So let's take another deep breath and let's regroup because I need it. I'm sorry. Okay, let it all go. And yes, I do know what to do. Hi, Margherita. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so I just want you to just close your eyes for just 1 minute and visualize for yourself a situation where you feel like you don't know what to do. It could be personal. It could be relational. It could be about your health. It could be about next steps. It could be about your business. It could be whatever it is for you. Because again, I like to have you tap on specific things with your own intentions so that you get the most benefit out of this experience. Okay? So identify one area right now where you might either think or believe or hear yourself saying, I don't know what to do. Okay. Do you have one, Elaine?
Yeah, mine relates to re-signing up for health insurance.
Okay.
Like going through this again. And I've been, well, the open enrollment period is open now, but.
Oh, that's actually pretty, that's pretty good. Because we're all facing that actually, in the States, right? I don't know. Do you have that in I think Canada and Europe, probably in England, Dave? I know you're there. Might not have that same issue, which is why I asked you to pick your own topic. So that if this does not resonate with you, that's okay. The fact that you set an intention for yourself and know where you're feeling, stuck in this I don't know space, you will receive what you need through the tapping. Okay, so I ask that you follow along, repeat after me, and so you'll speak along with Elaine. If the words I'm saying don't necessarily resonate or don't align or aren't true for you, then that's okay. Use your own words. This is I want you to receive some sense of clarity and freedom and shifting from this place of not knowing when we're done tapping today. So please be in your space with your intention. Okay, doke. And as always, we start tapping on the outside of the karate chop point. Okay. So even though I don't know what to do.
Even though I don't know what to do.
In this situation.
I
choose to be okay with that.
I choose to be okay with that.
So even though I don't know what to do.
Even though I don't know what to do.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Because I'll figure it out.
Because I will figure it out.
Or the information will become readily available to me.
Or the information will become readily available to me.
Or my intuition will guide me.
Or my intuition will guide me.
Any of them is okay.
Any of them is okay.
So even though I really don't know what to do.
So even though I really don't know what to do.
It's not true.
It's not true.
This is a part of me
This is a part of me.
that does know.
There is a part of me that does know.
And I'm going to honor both parts.
And I'm going to honor both parts.
The part that thinks she doesn't know.
The part that thinks she doesn't know.
And the part that does know.
And the part that does know.
Okay, so now we're going to just tap through the points. And you obviously can see them, top of the head. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
There's too many options.
There's too many options.
There's too many choices.
Too many choices.
And it's overwhelming.
I'm overwhelmed.
I don't know which to choose.
I don't know what to choose and where to start.
Well, it's not, and I don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start.
I'm just so confused.
I'm confused.
I need help.
I need help.
And I don't even know where to get the help.
I don't even know where to get the help.
I just don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Every time this happens,
Every time this happens,
I get confused.
I get a little confused.
And I feel stuck.
I feel stuck.
And I stop trusting
I stop trusting
in myself.
in myself.
I stop trusting in my wisdom.
I stop trusting in my wisdom.
And I stop trusting that I know everything I need to know.
And I stop trusting that I know everything I need to know.
I stop trusting that I can always access what I need.
I stop trusting that I can always access what I need.
When I get out of my own way.
When I get out of my own way.
When I unclutter my mind.
When I unclutter my mind.
With all of these negative feelings and thoughts.
With all these negative, busy feelings and thoughts.
That I don't know what to do.
That I don't know what to do.
There's too much information.
Too much information.
There's not enough time.
It's not enough time.
I don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start.
And I really don't want to do it in the first place.
I really don't want to do it in the first place.
I really don't.
I really don't.
And that's getting in the way too.
And that's getting in the way too.
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
It's mind numbing.
Even mind numbing.
It's frustrating.
And frustrating. Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, but that's okay.
Because I choose to see this differently.
I choose to see this differently.
Because I have a choice.
Because I have a choice.
I don't have to do it if I don't want to.
I don't have to do it if I don't want to.
And I can live with those consequences.
And I can live with those consequences.
I can live with those choices.
I can live with those choices.
Or I can decide it's important enough for me to do.
Or I can decide it's important enough for me to do.
And allow myself to do it.
And allow myself to do it.
I can choose to do this.
I can choose to do this.
And I trust that the answers will come to me.
And I trust that the answers are coming to me.
And I trust that the support I need is there.
And I am trusting that the support I need is there.
And I trust that I do know what to do.
I am trusting I know what to do.
I trust that I know.
I trust that I do know.
That a higher power is working on my benefit.
A higher power is working on my benefit.
It's conspiring on my behalf.
It's conspiring on my behalf.
For my highest good.
For my highest good.
Because I'm choosing to believe that.
Because I am choosing to believe that.
And to connect to that spirit.
And to connect to that spirit.
To connect to that wisdom.
And to connect to that wisdom.
And to connect to that guidance.
And to connect to that guidance.
And I'm going to ask it to work on my behalf.
I am going to ask it to work on my behalf.
I'm choosing to receive that guidance.
I am choosing to receive that guidance,
that knowledge,
that
support,
support,
the intelligence,
the intelligence,
the clarity,
the clarity,
the focus,
the focus,
and whatever else I need.
Whatever else I need.
Whatever I need.
Whatever I need.
To say, I do know what to do.
To say, I do know what to do.
And I'm ready to do it.
I'm ready to do it.
And to just take a breath and release. So I am going to open up the seats if anybody wants to come in and either ask me questions or talk about this experience or share it. I would love to hear feedback, and I'm also open to take in suggestions for topics in the future. And what else? I also always encourage you, though, to just tune in for a minute before we do that and look or feel. Do you have relief? Did you feel something shift within you? Do you feel a sense of lightness? Did you get like maybe an aha moment, or did a thought or something show up for you that turned things around for you, where you're able to, whatever your intention was, say, oh, wow, yeah, I can actually do that. I do know what to do. And if not, what I always encourage you to do is to keep tapping. You want to get to that place of resolution. And sometimes it might not happen in 5 or 10 minutes. And that's okay too. What has happened is something has opened up and been made available for you to go where you need to go. So you might need to take it a little bit further, and that's okay too. And I just like to let you know that there are 40 plus Tappy Break videos available. The easiest way is to go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is Cherie Valentine, and there's a Tappy Break playlist. So they're all right there. I'd love to send you to my website, but I don't want you to have to weed through them. And, it's a little bit easier to look on YouTube and just see them all there. Also know that I'll be here every Monday at this time. So you can join me every week, and I hope that you do. And if you really, really like this, share it out, tell a bird, tell your aunt, bring more friends.
While we were tapping, I was hoping somebody did tell a little bird, because it now makes those little animated GIFs, and it might have gotten us little, tapping. Well, and captured it.
That's a good idea. And I'm also glad, because hopefully that means that they were tapping along with us.
Okay.
And they were in the space and getting what they needed, so that they weren't, thinking about something else.
I like looking at it that way.
So, but
I experienced such profound quieting. It's like when we were done, I didn't even want to think. But there were a couple awarenesses that bubbled up for me about my issue, about approaching, figuring out my whole health insurance thing for next year. Mm-hmm. I realized that there was no part of me with the willingness to approach that topic with play. I very consciously do that with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But with this one, I just didn't. And I started out with a thought like, oh, okay, Elaine, you can play with this one too, And it sounds like so simple, but for me, that was like, it was big.
Good. No, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. And sometimes it is, it's just a simple shift, as you know, in the way we look at things, or just a reminder of applying what we do somewhere else into this situation. And that's what, I think I love to do the tapping, because it just kind of gets us out of our head, where we're so stuck with these, the thoughts and the limits, to open up the space for you to have that awareness. So that's awesome. Thank you so for sharing it. Hello, Mr. Dave Moore.
Bonjour. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Were you tapping with us?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't tell a little bird.
Yes, I'm good. I'd much rather you tap than tell the bird, to be honest with you. I know it's a little different than how we do most of our blabs, but that's okay. You can share it out. You can all share it now, and people can get the benefit of the replay.
Why don't we just all go like this?
There we go. That's okay. All right, who's out there?
And I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll click it. You ready?
All right. Okay.
and the recording gift's got to come up. I better do this,
Uh-huh.
and then somehow I've got to find something to press the post tweet button with.
Oh yeah. I'd rather you do it than me.
Use your throes.
Tap with one hand. Just tap with
Now,
one
we all
hand.
got to be tapping the same part, haven't we? Otherwise,
All right, well, tap with one hand on the chin, then you have a free hand.
now, you don't want to get left out, Margherita. You've got to be doing this.
People are like, what is
There we
going
go.
on? Yeah.
We're all
Let's
trying
go.
to grow beards.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay.
I'm gonna need a shave now.
Oh, I also love tapping because it gets me out of it gets me into a very centered space, which really does help me to tune in intuitively in a way that, I have lots of ways of doing that. Obviously, clearly for me, I do, but this is one of my favorites to help other people to get out of their busyness.
One thing I wanted to ask you is the tapping more intense if your eyes are closed?
It could be. I think, have you tried doing one way versus the other?
Well, I did it then, but I couldn't do it with my eyes closed because I had to watch you.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you're
So,
doing it yourself and you know what you're doing, some of the exercises that we do, we get people to close their eyes so they're not bothered by other people and they don't take outside influences. But I'm just wondering if you've got a specific thing you tap about that is important to you, then you know what you're going to say and you know the points. I just wonder whether you've heard of anybody getting more benefit from having their eyes closed.
I think that if you're somebody that helps, so because to not have any visual stimulation might allow you to kind of go in deeper, then yeah, I would definitely think that would be the case. And if you are somebody you don't have to tap the same way I tap. So if you know what the points are, you can just listen, follow along with me and use the wording, but just move through the points on your own comfort level. So you might want to stay and tap longer on each point and just trust. So if closing your eyes would be more beneficial, I would just try doing that and see what you think. I think for me, I know there are times closing my eyes and just getting away from any visual stimulation definitely is more intense and powerful for me personally. Okay. Yeah. But I don't think it's necessary. I think the tapping in and of itself is actually doing that for you. When we're tapping, we're literally we're sort of removing a lot of the stimulation that, again, a normal meditation maybe, where it would be definitely better to close your eyes.
Okay.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'm sorry. I'm also Charlene Burke. I just really want to thank you for your comments in the comments, Jane. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that you found some great benefit. There's so many different ways to meditate, and I have actually done tapping that was more just as a pure intention as far as more of a meditation. There's so many ways to use the tapping. Why it's so powerful is because oftentimes we're not always, for me, what I have found working with the tapping is accessing a space within us that we're not aware of. So we might know that we feel anger, but we might not really know where that's coming from, where that's stemming from, how it triggers it. And by able to, because when I do it this way, it's pretty light, it's pretty general. But when you actually do some tapping with somebody and it's really specific, you're struggling through something, or you're not even struggling, but you get an awareness or a memory, it really helps you access that part of yourself that's hidden and where there's a lot of wisdom that resides. So it works on so many levels.
I have a question for you, if you have.
Please. Yes.
Yeah. It's so nice to finally meet you here in the blab. I saw you several times, and then I couldn't find your blab. I don't know what's my system or whatever. They change it so many times.
Yes.
And that is the question is how fast in general would a issue be solved from that moment when you're starting and then afterwards?
It can actually, I've seen things shift like that in 5 or 10 minutes. So I've done whole sessions with people for an hour. But normally, if I've tapped with somebody for an hour, we're not tapping on the same issue and we're not tapping on the same aspect of the issue. Well, oftentimes what will happen is there's several different layers or aspects. So we might have an issue that you come to me with and we start to tap on it, right? Where you know, right, you are with that. And once that clears away, what's then is revealed something else underneath it. So let's say we tapped on something that is maybe anger related. Once that anger clears, what happens is, well, there's other emotions underneath the anger. Now you might have disappointment or resentment or frustration. And so, if there are different aspects contributing, the thing is we can move through them all very quickly, which is what's wonderful. And you don't have to relive anything. Like I've done a lot of tapping with people that had some really serious, deep trauma. I mean, and this is wonderful because you don't have to have trauma to benefit, but it's wonderful. Like my mentor and trainer has worked extensively with veterans, with PTSD specifically, and there, I don't know, the Ortners, if you're familiar with the Ortners, Nick Ortner does a lot with tapping, and the tapping solution actually, and they brought in a whole team into Sandy Brook, Connecticut a couple of years ago when they had those fatal shootings in the school. And they actually trained specifically EFT practitioners in trauma specific to go in and work with the children and the teachers and the families of the students that had been hurt, with phenomenal results. They are actually, their program is actually working with teaching first responders to traumatic situations to use tapping. So again, it can work really quickly. And that's another reason why I really like it as well. It's very really, you go back and revisit the same situation once you've cleared it with tapping.
And so can you actually, I mean, I've never studied tapping. I've done, followed some other people at times, but how can you use any issue? Like how do you, if it's like the question, like Elaine came up with about insurance, what kind of types of issues and how do you formulate that?
Okay, so are you asking like specifically when someone comes to me, for yourself, like if you want to just sit and tap?
Comes to see you, is it emotions? Is it like, what is the most common thing that you can use for it? Can we use it for any issue?
Oh, yes. So there's a phrase, tap, I think actually try it on anything. People have like cleared migraine headaches, a history of migraine headaches using tapping. I did a 3-day training, I think it was the last year or two, I'm losing track of time, but where it was specifically on pain. Again, it was Nick Ortner and his family, and they were doing a study on really specifically using it for pain and to prepare for a book that he has since written. And I watched as people who had these like literal physical pains and ailments and disabilities for years clear up like that. Mm-hmm. So it depends. Like people come to me and sometimes they know, people show up, they know why, they know what's troubling them or where they're stuck or where they're struggling. So I always start where you are, with that. So, okay, this is what's bothering you. Well, let's just tap and see where it takes us. And that's what I will do. Other times, it's just within the framework of conversation where, and by the questions that I ask, that will help me know where to go with them or what statement to use, when we start here. So a lot of it, some of it's intuitive, just, because I'm, as a healer, I tune in energetically and get information without having to have always the conversation. But I always, you always want to empower the person that you're with. So as much as I can, I like what we're doing to come from them to get to initiate things. And I often will stop and check in and ask questions throughout, again, for their own wisdom to surface and guide us where we go.
Can I just mention a comment that you've got here? Charlene Burke. It's something to do with swaddling technique. But further down, she says, mine was related to business. What needs to be done first? Couldn't prioritize my pile on my desk. I mean, how often have we all been there?
Oh, I was there today, actually, this morning.
It's a strange thing about the prioritizing. It's a form of, I suppose, what you could call it as procrastination of putting something off and something takes its place. Like you say, I can't come to your party because I've got a subsequent engagement. And something else will come along and supersede it. But the definition of a procrastinator is someone who can't take now for an answer. And the issue that people have, I think, is this urgency to do something now. And they have it, but then it's gone. And getting it and being able to, for want of a better phrase, tap into it would be fantastic. It's like getting a parking fine that's only £40, and you think, well, it's got to be paid by 2 weeks' time. I'll leave it. I'll pay it nearer the time, and then you realise the day before you haven't paid it, and you check. Oh, it only goes up to £60. That's okay. I'll pay that in a couple of weeks' time. Next thing you know, it's £300, and there's a tow truck outside your house loading your car up, and it's another £200 to release it. Suddenly, you get that urgency. So being able to tap in that urgency, or that I will do this now, and prioritize when you need to, rather than delay it, is a great thing if we can always do it. And I can see how this would help you to focus on this prioritization of things. But have you ever done it for prioritization?
Oh yeah. I have two different things that I do. One, I actually have, I think, just a 5-minute meditation that I created for that, just to sit and tune in and get the sense of clarity that I need. And then I will tap when I'm just feeling like I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. I've got so much to do. Which one's most, and I just say whatever I need to say, like whatever's coming through. And that's what I want. I'm sharing that because I want all of you to do that in any moment. Tapping is fantastic to use anytime and in the moment and by yourself, just by vocalizing what those little thoughts that are running through your head anyway, that you're thinking about, like that pile on your desk that you can't stop, or that ticket that you so use it's always a great idea, I think, in those moments of procrastination or feeling overwhelmed, to just tap through in the moment. And just because what it'll do, at least if it might not clear up an issue that, all right, where did this begin in the first place, but what it's going to do is give you that sense of clarity and freedom now, so that you can do what you need to do. We could do a whole one on by the way, I'm really open to anyone who is brave enough, courageous enough, and vulnerable enough to want to actually do a more specific one-on-one tapping that it's not as general like we did today, but I ask you questions and you're sharing your specific, and I'm using words that are specific. I used to do this locally, where people would just show up all the time, and for an hour I'd tap. And we would, like, different people would contribute, and I would tap, for what you needed, maybe for 20 minutes. And then, of course, it would just, next person, or oftentimes the people that showed up all resonated with a topic. And, but it's really amazing when we can do it that way as well, like to have a more actual experience that's more specific versus just the general that I do in the videos.
Can you do it?
So if anybody's willing, what's that?
Can you do it anywhere, tapping? Or have you got to have your own specific place really to do this? I mean, where's the place that you've done it?
It was a local. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to be talking about that experience actually on the intuition for your, is intuition guiding your business this week on Friday. I have a blab coming up on that. But I found a place, again, very intuitively guided, where there was an open space that was separate from the rest of the business that people used to like to come. And so I would, every week I was there. And it was just, I had it open by donation, and I had like anywhere from 10 to 15 people on a regular basis coming every week, sometimes the same people, sometimes different people. And it was really, really wonderful. And then, I don't know, it stopped. Then I stopped doing them, and I was using Hangouts last year and did the way I did. But I do miss the interactive. Like, I think it would be fun if we were to take an hour and call it Tappy Hour, and have all of you participating. So I would be saying, hey, Dave, anything specific, each of you would share your specifics of what you wanted. And then I would, we would take it from there, and it would be like an actual tapping real session.
As a side thing, I'm really glad that you're doing this intuition.
My intuition?
Yeah, I'm glad you're going to be doing that show and that thing later on in this month, isn't it?
Yeah, every week I'm doing a show around intuition.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think we have a set day, though, so it changes week by week because of my co-host schedule. Wow. Last week we did it on Thursday. This week it's Friday.
Good.
And I do have my intuition class coming up, and I'm really excited about it. I've got one that is a full day live immersion, which is going to be here in Hampton. And I have a weekend where I'm going to do it over 2 half days instead of a full long day, and do it live virtually.
Yeah, this is what I read earlier on. I saw something come up.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
In person somewhere, and then it was.
I'm very excited
on here. That's gonna. I wrote that down.
I don't think we'll use Blab because I need to have a more private space, but I found a space I can use where it's private for us to do that. Yeah. Because the whole point of it is to be interacting with each other and have the experience, and not me just like teaching you, but it's also. You want to be in a private, safe space for what we're going to do. We really don't want the whole world watching that.
Just you, me, and 2 million other people. Don't worry about it.
But you would love that, Dave. I think you would love it.
What's that, Mom?
You would love that.
What?
I just wanted
a private intuition.
No, what I'm saying is that you would love that with 2 million other people.
Yeah. I think spread the word.
I'm fairly excited. I'm excited about that. And I'll tell you a really fun way I also use tapping is with the was with the chakras. So we look at the issue, and a lot of that, by the way, comes in when I'm working with you, or general tapping that I do anyway. Because understanding how each of our energy centers have specific emotional issues, family issues, spiritual issues, how they also relate to the body part, and what the information we can glean from that is. And when you start to understand that and use that to tune into maybe where things, where there's an imbalance in your chakras, your energy system, we actually tap on those specific issues. And that's a lot of fun to do too.
I'm just looking at Fred's comment there about tapping hour.
I know. Does anybody want to just come in and either, say hi or share something or ask a question? If you do, just put it in the stream, and I'm sure somebody won't mind leaving, but I don't want you to leave if no one's coming in.
Thank you for having me here. And
thank you, Margherita.
My whole head is opened up after the tapping.
Do you want to just quickly share your experience? Did you find some resolution?
I went in there and I tapped with the Elaine's insurance thing, and I thought about my own thing, and then 1 minute into it, I felt like there was a rush of energy on the back of my head, and then I was like, oh, I'm waking up. It's like the energy is flowing better in the back of my head. I mean, I've sitting writing all day, so in front of the computer, and it helped. It helped. So thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome. I always love seeing you. You know that. You were just a fellow soul sister. Thank you.
All right, I'll go out so somebody else can come in.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
I just put a comment in there. I should say I will leave if, oh yeah, her.
Oh.
Um,
Oh yeah,
can
yes.
come in,
So
but
we
for
just
some reason it's got lost in its translation. It must have been.
I know, I know,
I can't even figure that one out myself. What did I say then?
I know what you were
I
saying.
think I was
though.
typing and tapping at the same time.
You just forgot that
I was tapping the keyboard. I should have been tapping here.
Okay, so this person, I just want to, if she has a first name, I like to use first names if I can. I can't. Okay, so, oh yeah, Megan? Megan. Oh, hey, Megan, thank you. Do you want to jump in the seat, Megan? You're welcome to. And if not, I'll give a very brief, because if you watch the video, the replay, it will answer your question. And I have several other videos also where there's a lot of information, but basically tapping it's an energy technique that combines using like the idea of acupuncture with talk therapy. So you're accessing both the conscious and the unconscious mind, and you're speaking out what you feel, what you think in a way that's maybe more negative and keeping you stuck, that then allows you to reach a place of peace, of shift, of understanding, of finding answers. Does that help for now? And again, you're welcome to jump in the seat if you want to. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for asking. All right, guys, I think if you don't mind, I'm going to call this a show, call it a wrap.
Well, I mind. Don't you? Don't you, Elaine? I mind.
Well, if you mind.
I think we should keep going for another 2 hours.
All right, I'm trying to read with Fred. By the way, Fred, you always have such really interesting things to say. So I'm sorry, but I'm trying to read it. And, oh, good job. I like that okay. Okay.
God, I hope I'm not on widescreen for it.
Oh, I don't mind if you are, but if you're uncomfortable with that, that's fine. Thank you, Charlene. Good luck on that list, and thank you for joining. I really appreciate you and your comments. Have a great day. All right. Yeah, I'm blabbing every day, by the way. I know. I did 5 shows, 6, actually 5 of my own shows, and I think a couple of guest shows last week.
And you're scoping as well.
Not as consistently. I'm still trying to decide if
I don't get
that's
it.
my thing.
It's like talking to yourself with your phone in your hand. It's like in the vain hope that somebody watches it. And when you see you've got 25 people watching, you think, if only I'd said something.
I watched you last week saying goodnight to your dogs.
Oh yeah, that was it. No, that's the level of mine. It's going to be a couple of weeks when they've got their own Twitter pages. I'll tell you.
Oh, I agree, Fred. This is so much better than TV, Fred. Oh, and this is real reality TV.
I can tell you it worked because Charlene's going back to tackle her list right now.
I know, that's great. That is great.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I can hang out for about another 10 minutes if you guys are here and want to chat. I certainly don't mind. I think I'll pause the recording now. We don't